Hello to all, welcome back to VHSE Learning Classes. Myself Dr. Ramandeep Kaur, and today I'm back with the session on episiotomy. So you all can see here in this diagram, this is a very specifically designed Caesar. Very specifically designed. So what is specific in it? It is curved at this angle. It is curved at this angle. So what this is? It is an episiotomy Caesar. So its differentiating feature is it is curved at the angle and it is bent at the edges. So one with the bent edges goes inside the mother vagina. So actually basically this episiotomy Caesars has two blades. One is a blunt blade and another one is a sharp blade. This episiotomy Caesar has two blades. One is blunt blade and another one is a sharp blade. So one with the blunt end, this is the blunt end. One with the blunt end goes inside the vagina, and one with the sharp end it's remain outside. So the procedure done it with the help of is called as episiotomy. So what is episiotomy? Episiotomy, it is a surgical incision. Episiotomy, it is a surgical incision which is surgical incision given on the vulva and the perineum. Why? In order to facilitate the delivery, in order to complete the delivery, that is called as the episiotomy, right? Now let's discuss about the timings for this episiotomy. Actually the timings for this episiotomy, both the American College of Obstetric and Gynecology as well as the Royal College of Obstetric and Gynecologists, they both recommended the restrictive or limited use of episiotomy, right? So we cannot perform it like randomly. There are some specific instruction, like in case of vortex delivery. In case of vortex delivery, when the head stretches the perineum, when the head stretches the vulval outlet, when the head stretches the perineum, when there is a thinned out perineum and fetal head does not recede back. When the fetal head does not recede back, what it is called? It is called as a crowning. So remember, in vortex delivery we do it after crowning, right? So in vortex delivery we do it after crowning, and if we do it before thinning of perineum, so what it will lead to? It will lead to more blood loss, right? And simultaneously, if we do it later on, like if we do it later on, so what? So laceration cannot be prevent. हम एपिजोडमी क्यों दे रहे हैं? टू फैसिलिटेट द डिलीवरी ऑफ द हेड ऑफ द फीटस. अगर एपिजोडमी मैंने टाइम पे दी ही नहीं, फीटस हेड बाहर आ गया, उसने पेरिनियल टीयर 1 2 3 4 डिग्री का, सो देयर इज अ नो यूज ऑफ माई एपिजोटमी, राइट? सो वी नीड टू वी शुड नॉट डू इट सो लेट कि भी जो इसका पर्पस है वो ही फुलफिल ना कर सके. एंड सिमिलरली इन ब्रीच डिलीवरी, व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज दिस एपिजोटमी, it is when anus is visible at the vulval outlet, and when anus is visible at the vulval outlet plus the, like when when the breech recedes the perineum. So in that condition we'll do it to perform the episiotomy. Now let's discuss about why these. मैंने सबसे starting में I've told you that these are the very specifically designed Caesars. Why they are very specifically designed Caesars with the curved angle? Like I have told you at the initiation also. Actually, you all know that episiotomy we are going to do when there is a there is a crowning. Like after crowning, we are going to do this episiotomy. Why these scissors are specifically designed? So that we can give cut at 60 degree, actually to maintain the cut, to maintain the angle of the cut. We need to give the angle at, like we need to give this cut at this 60 degree. So to maintain this angle, to maintain the angle of the cut in case of episiotomy, so these scissors are specifically designed. Now let's indication for episiotomy: if there is assisted breech delivery is there, face to pubis delivery is there, a macrosomia, shoulder dystocia is there, forceps and a vacuum delivery in the condition, a rigid perineum. So these all are the indication for episiotomy. Now let's discuss about the types of, there are 4 types of episiotomy. First is the mediolateral, second one is the midline, then is a J-shaped, and last is the fourth one is a lateral. So these both are obsolete, not done in these days. Only these two are common, mediolateral and midline. Actually mediolateral is most common. Like you can see here, this, like this is our, these are the layers. So like if we are from this introitus, this is our midline. Midline episiotomy, which extends from the center of introitus. This is our midline, right? And then another one, this is our 60-degree angle. So this is our mediolateral. We prefer mediolateral as comparison to the midline. Like why we prefer mediolateral as comparison to midline? Because हमें पता आपको कि midline is having more advantages, like less bleeding is in case of in midline. It is easy to sutures, but still we prefer the mediolateral because if we need to extend the cut, like if we need to extend the cut, so this cut cannot, if we need to extend the cut, so this cut cannot harm the external anal sphincter and simultaneously will avoid anal sphincter injuries and fetal incontinence and fecal incontinence. See, अगर हम मिड लाइन पे बता लोगे कट ऐसे सीधे जाएगा. सो अगर हमें इफ वी नीड टू extend this cut posteriorly, so what it will lead to the injury to the anus. Whereas in case of the mediolateral, if we want to extend this cut, it is not going to harm our anus. It is not going to cause the injury of the external anal sphincter, right? Then the difference between the midline and the mediolateral: sutures in midline is easy to do, it is difficult. Blood loss इसमें कितना होता है? It is less, इसमें more. Anatomical results good, not good anatomical results. Post-operative pain in this case is less, whereas in this case it is more. And dyspareunia in this case is less, and here is more. Rectal involvement, yes, but it is, in this condition it is rare. And perineal tear, yes, it will lead to first degree, second degree, third degree and fourth degree perineal tear. And whereas here in mediolateral, it will lead to first and second degree perineal tear. That is the reason we prefer this mediolateral. And sutures cutting in the episiotomy, there is a first a posterior vaginal wall, then is a superficial transverse perineal muscle, then we are going to do with the deep transverse perineal muscles and fibers of the levator ani, fascia, subcutaneous tissue or the skin. And similarly, when we are going to repair, we are going to suture. We are going to sutures in 3 stages. First, we are going to suture a vaginal mucosa, then is a perineal muscles, and last is skin and subcutaneous tissues. And suture materials which basically we use the dissolvable suture material in this case, and most commonly use the chromic catgut, or we can use the polyglectin or the polyglycolic acids. So in this manner we'll heal this, we suture this episiotomy. So with this our small topic on episiotomy finishes. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.